So here was Scott Benbow, our Cumbrian friend from Workington.
Workington, yeah.
Tell us, Scott, a little bit about you and when you joined the Football Fun Factory and what you've done sort of previous to that.
So I joined the Football Fun Factory last August, the end of August 21, I think. We signed up, started in September with all our promotions, launch, and then October was our first sessions that we put on. And this Monday has just been my first day doing it full time, so about 10 months. I was working with was a power plant, now is in decommission, but doing training development. So I was doing that during the day, doing this in the evenings and weekends. Prior to that, I've done leadership and development training and also worked in a prison doing business development education there. And I think that all that mismatch of stuff that I've done with the theme of like education has added to the 10 years I did football in America. Yeah. And while I travelled doing all of that, and my friends have all had jobs and careers, and I've always kind of wondered, what am I doing with my life? This just seems to have all come together. That the education, everything goes really well with the football coaching. Yeah. And you can give that little bit extra that we talk about, make it safe, the fun, educate parents and children, which is brilliant. And it's been hard work. I'm not going to lie. But there has been changes with the new website and the new booking system has made a massive change. I think my admin's gone down by about 5 hours a week, which is absolutely brilliant. It's definitely been a journey. I've met lots of great people along the way, all our head coaches, the management team, the leadership team, as that keeps growing. They've all been really helpful, talking back and forward. Even my local community, the HAF program that we do, they reached out to me. I was planning on, I'll go bit by bit. And they reached out to me and said, look, we've seen what you're doing via the social media. We think it's great. Would you be interested in this? And I talked to a couple of guys, Dave, Keith, who've done it before for a while, and asked them what was involved. So we said, yeah, we'll try it out. And then they said, well, how many children do you think? And I just threw out the number of 30 a day. And they just said, fine, we'll fill this form out. I think, oh, hold on. Then I thought, I'm going to have to go and find 30 children a day, and we've almost filled them all already. Brilliant. So, yeah, summers are good. Summer's looking good. Yeah. We don't really have anything like this around.
I think that's what we hear from so many people when they come on board at FFF. There isn't anything like this in my local area. Everyone says it. We hear that phrase time and time again. So if we sort of deep dive into the ethos of Football Fun Factory, how well aligned is that with kind of how you think and feel about football coaching?
Very much. When I came back from America, it would be 2009, I think it was. I stopped coaching altogether.
Oh, interesting.
I fell out of love with it. Over there, I was able to travel. I was getting paid to do it, which helped. Yeah. But I was able to do it my way, doing different things, helping educate coaches, helping teams, do the odd tournaments, things like that. And then when I come back here, it is voluntary and giving up your time. There isn't a lot of support. Mm-hmm. So I fell out of love with it. And then we were looking for he was 3, he's 5 now. He just loved kicking the ball and everything. And I'm like, I can't find anything. And my wife has said, well, she's got friends, she does her fitness and her clients and friends are like, well, we've got young kids as well and there isn't anything. And so she said, well, you used to do it, why don't you start doing it again? And I thought, yeah, it'd be nice to get involved, I miss it a little bit, but it's all the heartache of setting it up, getting everything going, trying to figure it all out and working full time. I don't know if I have the drive to do that right now.
That's where we come in.
And that was where I literally seen you and Johnny on LinkedIn, and I'd followed you for a couple of months, and I saw the stuff you were doing, and I was like, I like that. I agree with all of that. Let's just make it fun. Forget the winning. And that also tied in with my fascination of like how people learn and how people grow. And then my wife had just had knee surgery, so I'd had to drive her to work. and she was doing a fitness class. Luckily, it was a seated one with Age UK. So I was just in another room in the back on my laptop doing some work, and it was the early July, and I was annoyed with work. And I was looking through the website. I said, I want to know more. So I just sent the message through, and then Luke came back to me. And he said, yeah, able to have a chat. Like it was like a couple of days later. I was like, yeah, okay. So I'll had a chat with him. We had a great chat. Didn't really talk much about FFF and franchise or anything like that. It was like we just had a chat.
Yeah, that's great.
And at the end of it, I'm thinking, I like what he's talking about, just in general.
Yeah.
And he's part of this. So then I had a conversation with my wife Jen, and I said, look, I told you I was going to get in touch. I've got in touch. I've had a chat.
Now I want to do it.
I think this is really good. And I'm thinking, the investment and all of that. At the time, we were thinking of moving back to America. So we'd sold our house and we had the money there, but with COVID and jobs and stuff, it was slowly whittling down. I was like, I think if we invest in this, we can do something really good in the area. We can make our investment back, and we can do some good stuff and improve our lives, make it better for the kids, all of that. Just, sounds interesting. And I talked to Luke again. Said, yeah, we're interested. He said, right, can you come down? Yeah, it was like 2 weeks or a week or something like that.
I remember it was a quick turnaround, wasn't it?
It was less than a month between me sending that message and me being down, sat with Jodie and Kiefer and Luke with Jen. Just like, let's go for it. And then it was another week after that and we were signed up.
Yeah, so I think that isn't typical. So that isn't normally, we always look back when we got an onboarding day coming up, we've got 10 new head coaches said, did you want to see? Typically what happens is that it's actually probably on average about an 8 or 9 month process from the point at which someone inquires about the franchise. They may well have been looking at it for several months prior to that, to then actually becoming a franchisee. For you, it was that whole process was pretty
It was just mad. It was proper madness.
It was happening before you knew it.
Well, it's one of them. We sit down. We went on the weekend. We went out to eat with my parents. Like the families went out to celebrate. We've made this. We're going full time with it. And Jen's just opened a new fitness studio at the same time. So the two of us are on the 4th Independence Day for her. Well, I guess independence for both of us. And we just said, how mad was that? Like, we've never spent that kind of money at all. Since we've been married, everything's been tight, and we've had some money from selling the house. But both of us just went, yeah, let's do it.
Let's go for it. Sometimes in life you have to do that, and I think there's always 1,000,001 reasons why not to. And sometimes you just have to say, well, actually, let's just go for it. Let's just follow our passion.
For me, it's that feeling. We didn't spend a lot of time going through fine details of stuff. We were like, this feels right. We believe we can make this work really well.
Yeah.
Let's do it. And then we'll figure out the rest as we go along.
Yeah.
And that's where you and Johnny and everyone else came in. He's like, well, we've done it. Here's the steps you can take. So then it was just, that was the big difference. Was if I was starting my own business, I'm figuring it out. If I'm taking this one and I'm already being told, right, well, this is the process we've used. This is how it worked for us. You can use that process, and then we can tweak it if you need to tweak it here and there. But and it works. And then what I've found is I can then add my little style and personality around it.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so I'm very similar to a lot of the other head coaches around, but I've got my own personality around it, which I think is really good. And that rubs off on my coaches and then our sessions. And then it just goes from strength to strength. But for us, it's the young ones, the tops is like, get calls regularly. Like, do you do anything for like 2-year-olds? Or we do actually, yeah. And that's going to expand now. I'm going to try to do 1 or 2 midweek ones.
Brilliant.
So those that can't do the weekends and are not in school, because again, we found when our two were, there's only a year between them, and they were young, there wasn't a lot of places to go. Like groups to go and get involved in. Sometimes there was one like a messy one and fun like that, but there wasn't anything let's get them moving around, let's work on their coordination and
Yeah.
having fun and kicking balls and stuff. It was just Lucas kicking them around the house. So now we've picked up the second pitch, we're going to expand that and offer more to everyone. So
That's fantastic.
I'm excited for that.
Is it your favourite programme to deliver?
No.
No, what do you enjoy? Tell me what you enjoy.
I enjoy, so the way we have it is because we had so many tots, we said, right, if you're 4 and you're in reception at school, so 4/5, then you can come and do the football fun and development.
Yeah.
It's that age, so it's like the end age of tots into that is the one that I enjoyed the most.
The first experience out on an AstroTurf pitch, under
Yeah,
the floodlights. Yeah.
I'll give you an example. I've got 2 girls that have been inside with us.
Yeah.
They're a little bit older than tots, but we ended up having to do a session inside just for the time. And so they did that, and they enjoyed it. But you could see it was just slowly. It was just slowly dropping a little bit. So I had a word with the parents, and I said, "Look, their motivation." And one of the parents was like, "Yeah, she just doesn't seem to want to come as much."
Mm-hmm.
So I said, "Well, look, I know you said 6 to 7 is a little bit late, but they are going to go into year 1, and we've got quite a lot of younger ones." I said, "We've got 3 weeks to the summer. Do you want to bring them outside for 3 weeks? Let them have a go at that. If they like that, great. Back after the summer. If they're not too keen on that, then maybe it is time for a break and we'll look a little bit later." So they came on Monday night. So we finished inside. We're heading outside. These 2 are already on the pitch, and as I walk on, I just hear these 2 screaming and running around. They're like, "Oh my goodness, who let you in here? Get off my pitch. You should be in there." I'm like, no, we're outside now. And they were like so excited, and they just followed me around, putting cones around and everything like that. And then they went off. They were in another group with a different coach that day. And I talked to the 2 parents after, and they said, "They're like different girls. I think this is what they're going to want to do."
Yeah, it's brilliant.
And it is a completely different atmosphere, and the faces when they come out, it's much bigger, and they feel the grass, and they're like, it's got dirt in it. So they explore. But I like that. Tots, I like the tots. It took me a while to get into it because I was like, I want to get a good session and all that, and you know what it's like with tots. It's like organised chaos.
Very different.
And
Very
they're
different
everywhere.
culture.
But then once you start to realise that if you have a discussion with the parents early on, you explain, this is what we're going to try and do, this is what's likely to happen, I felt better. But what I found was the parents felt better because they didn't feel like they had to try and keep shoving the kids back in if they wanted to climb out. And at times we would drag the parents in, so they would become trees for me or different things. So that has grown on me, and we have a great time with that.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a journey that people go on with the delivery of the TOTS programme where actually probably for the first 6 weeks, sometimes even 6 months, people feel a little bit nervous, a little bit unsure. They worry too much really about how much of the session are the children participating in and all those things, because your instinct as a coach says that children's sitting out there the sessions because they're not enjoying it, whereas actually their attention span might only last for 4 minutes, and that's probably the case for most 2 to 3 year olds. So it's okay to dip in and dip out. So I think that the TOTS program is a familiar trend where it starts off as the one where you're a bit nervous, a bit of trepidation delivering it, but actually in time almost becomes a real favourite because the look on a little 2 and 3 year old's face, for exactly the same reasons when you were looking for your child's local sessions to take them along to football to have their first experience. You're now facilitating that for children of that age. And I think it's a wonderful thing because they'll probably never really remember those experiences, but it will be those experiences that led to their lifelong association with the game, and that's what the Football Fun Factory is all about.
And it's as you get to know them, because you're working with about 15 children within the inflatable, you get to know them, and you don't have a massive moving around. When I'm outside and we've got 20, 30, 40 children, I'm usually working with different ones as I go around, so it takes a bit longer to get to know the personalities and everything. But you also get to know the parents better because the parents are generally in there busy, and seeing the parents' face sometimes when we've got one boy and he's like full of energy. And like everyone will come and sit down and he wants to run around, he wants to kick stuff, he wants to throw stuff. And his dad was forever like shouting, "Come on, sit down, you should," and all of this. And I just had words with his dad. I said, "Look, I know he's full of energy, right? And often his energy is misplaced and he's knocking cones everywhere when we want to do it." I I said, so instead of us like trying to tell him not to do it or tell him off, why don't we try for another week or so? Let's try and just redirect that energy and see what happens then. And so now what happens was, instead of when he goes wild and the dad or mum shouting and everyone trying to get him back, you can see they're getting frustrated because it kind of, I know as a parent, you feel like it rubs off on you. If your child behaves a certain way, or all the parents looking at me like, you should control it. But I use the language, I constantly talk about, wow, he's full of energy today. So all the other parents have a laugh and a joke about it now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, we'll have to redirect that energy. So now I've even got other parents who are helping out.
Supporting the session, that's great.
And saying, like, why don't you run that way or that way? I'll ask him, well, can you carry these cones and these balls? Oh, yeah, that. Could you demonstrate this for everyone else since you've got lots of energy today? Oh, yeah, I'll do that. And so what we might call misbehaving is kind of like stopped now.
Mm-hmm.
The energy's still there, still everywhere. It's like
we just made it okay.
Yeah, it's a bit like a cross between Sonic the Hedgehog and the Tasmanian Devil. He's like everywhere, but he's brilliant.
Yeah,
and he's a kind boy. And when he's calm and you talk to him, it's brilliant to talk to him. But we see the parents, they're calm, they relax, they feel safe now. Other parents are joining in and helping out. And then when another child's having a bad day, you see all other parents, and it becomes a proper community. And I like that part of it. I like working with the parents to help them, because I know mine are 5 and 6 now, but I also remember those early years where you're like, oh my goodness.
It's tough going.
It's tough going. And often when people do like we do the 3-week trial, right, for that reason, if you only go once and they're shy or intimidated or whatever it is, then probably never coming back.
Mm-hmm.
But we get to work with them, and by that 3rd week, almost all are playing and involved.
Yeah.
And I think that's fantastic, because you look at that and go, that's the way to do it. And
I agree.
And parents, so it's that community. And then, like you said, they want to bring them outside with you, and they want to take them on that journey. And then they get torn, because like, oh well, they want to play club football, they want to keep coming here. I don't know if I can do it. And I say, no, look, let them experience club football. They can come to camps. You can always come back anytime you want if practice changes, all of that. And I think that's how you have that well known in the community, because it's like, they're like, you're supporting us going to, it's not about me. There's plenty of other kids that'll come and work with us. It's about this child's journey. Yeah,
I think that's it, isn't it? It's about making sure everything that we do is open and accessible and friendly and welcoming, and that we actually put the children at the heart of everything that we do. And I think that your passion, Scott, is clear and evident to see. It's been absolutely brilliant to welcome you to the organisation.
Thank you.
And I think that you've been a roaring success with it so far. So I wish you every success moving forward.
Thank you very much.
And all the best for the future.
Thank you.
Top man.
Appreciate it. Thank you.